me 1 second. Good morning, boys and girls. I'm going to share. Hoping it's working. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome, 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 because we're lagging on my end. So good morning. I'm Miss Gibson, as Mr. Cross said, and I'm going to share my why with you today. So boys and girls, I was born right here in Duval. I was the oldest of 2 brothers, and I grew up in like one of the worst neighborhoods in Jacksonville, to be honest, boys and girls. It was, the saying was, if you can make it out this neighborhood, you can make it anywhere, but most likely you would not make it out. So I had a rough growing up, starting off in this neighborhood. This neighborhood is still around today, and it's most likely is not any better than it was when I grew up in the neighborhood. So I was a mommy's girl. I was born a day before my mom's birthday. So me and my mom was very close. She instilled so much into me about being a hard worker, treat people how you want to be treated. So, and I kept that, and I still keep that today. I follow the tradition she put in me, and to this day, it has been working for me as a mother, as a teacher, for you boys and girls. But she was always there for me, okay? So I had a blended family. Basically, my dad remarried when I was young. My mom got into another relationship. She had another child, which is my younger brother. So once again, I was the oldest, so I had to work hard to keep my brothers motivated, to keep them on a path that boys have to be on at their age. So I was the big sister, but I also was mom to them as well, because me being the only girl. So in that blended family, I gained from my dad, once he got remarried, he had another daughter, and then I gained a stepsister, and me and her is about 4 months apart, which still make me the oldest. So like I said, I had to work hard so they can see that hard work pays off in the end. Being the oldest sometimes can be very tough, but you have to do what you have to do to make sure that your siblings see things in a bright light. So I had a life-changing event, boys and girls, when I was offered to go to Patsy School for Advanced Studies, and this was one of the best schools in Jacksonville. It's just like Staten. This school is basically your GPA has to be high, and then you are guaranteed to go to college. So I was always a great student, making straight A's and B's, and nothing lower than a B for me. My mom, she was hard on me. Me being the only girl, she was very hard on me. And of course, me being young, I didn't understand at the point why she was so hard on me, but in the end, it paid off. So my 10th grade year, my mom got very sick and she passed away my 10th grade year. So I went down a path that I should have not went down, but you have to go through trials and tribulations. And that was my trial, because when she passed, my grades dropped dramatically. I was from A's and B's to D's and F's. And at this school, your GPA has to be high. So when my 10th grade year, before the year was over, the principal called me into her office. And when I got there, my dad was there and my grandmother. At the time, I was living with my grandmother in my mom's house that she had, her first house she had got. My grandmother moved in because we were so young when she passed away. My brother stayed in trouble, so he had to move in with my dad. So my dad was always in my life. But when the principal called me in, my dad and grandma was sitting there, and she gave me an ultimatum. She was like, Ms. Gibson, you're a great student, but we cannot have you making grades like this. So you can promise me in the next couple of semesters, you're gonna get that GPA up back to where it was, or I can transfer you to another school with no questions asked. Ms. Gibson took the choice of being transferred. I was transferred to Raines, where all my friends were. So at that time I was so excited because I was with all my friends. But when I got there, Ms. Gibson was in the 10th grade homeroom taking 11th grade courses. So the whispers around school was I was very smart because I was in the 10th grade homeroom taking 11th grade courses. But they did not know Ms. Gibson was supposed to be in the 11th grade homeroom. Since my GPA was so low, I went to the office with the principal and I was like, what is going on? Why am I in a 10th grade homeroom? She told me if I did not get my GPA back up, even though I transferred out of the advanced school, I would not be graduating with my class as a senior. I was heartbroken. So Miss Gibson had an uncle. He was in the Army and he had came home from deployment and he sat me down and he was like, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna play games with you. You have to get back on track. So he installed to me what my mama always installed to me. He reminded me that I was better than what I was doing. So and right now he still influenced me to this day. He retired from the military from doing 25 plus years and came home to Jacksonville. And now he works for JSO. So he's a police officer. So to this day, he talks to me every day to make sure I'm still on track. But he pushed me to my limits. He really did. And I love him more than ever now. So before he went back on deployment, he was like, you're going to college. At that time, I had not put in any letters to go to college because I was like, I'm not going. I finished high school. That's good enough for me. And he was like, we're not having that. You have a college right here in Jacksonville that you can still be with family and you can stay home, but you're going to college. So Ms. Gibson wrote a letter to EWC. I wrote a letter and they accepted me. I can't believe I was going to miss out on all this. EWC was one of the best things that happened to me. Through all the trials and tribulations, I met a girl from Atlanta, Georgia, my first week of school, and me and her became unacceptable. She was my best friend. She kept me on track, and I eventually graduated from Edward Waters College. I also met my husband. He's from Bahamas, Nassau, and here is his graduation picture. And then on the other side is, in the Bahamas, they have a tradition every Christmas and New Year's. They make their own costumes and they shut down the Bahamas and they dance, they sing, they play instruments. So he is very musical. And the Bahamas Boys and Girls is beautiful, beautiful. It's a beautiful place. So this is a picture of me at graduation. So that was my beginnings. And of course I graduated with an elementary education degree because I always knew that I had something to give back. I always want to be a teacher because everything that I was taught, I want to give back to my community. And these are some pictures of me at Flagler, my first year teaching. So my team became my family. I still talk to these ladies today. A lot of them have moved to Maryland, North Carolina, but we still stay in contact. And to the right, you can see us dressed up for our book parade. And we went into If You Give a Mouse. So a cookie, a muffin. So it was fun. And I enjoy being a teacher, boys and girls. I love it. And I wrote this for you boys and girls. The love for you boys and girls is why I do what I do to the best of my ability. So these are some photos of my students and us dressed up, different things we have, pajama day and like the book parade. So I have enjoyed it. Teaching is amazing. It is an amazing thing. I learn from you boys and girls every single day and I won't take any of that back. But you never know who's watching you. You being a sibling, an older or younger sibling, it doesn't matter. You never know who's watching you. To the left is a letter from my little sister. She sent me a text. And I want to read you what she texted me. It says, it's me who always said school wasn't for me. Different mindset this time around. I'm ready. Big changes coming soon. Heavy on the faith. So she just got accepted into one of the community colleges here. She never wanted to go and get a degree, but she has changed her mind on that. And I'm so proud of her. And to the right is my god brother. He plays football for Edward Waters right now. I'm proud of him as well. He's doing great. So like I said, you never know who's watching you. And in this picture are my siblings and my dad and my stepmother. My brother, and dad is in the white. My brother is a merchant seaman now. He's a merchant seaman, and he just came off the ship last week. So he's home right now for a couple of weeks, and he's going back on the ship. My little sister, she works for a bank. My stepsister, she is a real estate agent, but she also teaches part-time for Duval County. She's a sub. So because of me, she's subbing. And I know some of my students from last year, remember I left for a while, and because I had a baby, and the baby's here. I know a lot of y'all want to see the baby. He is here in this big picture, and the rest is my family. That's another reason I do what I do. My daughter tells me all the time, Mom, I want to be a teacher just like you. So you never know who's watching.
All
So
right,
boys and girls, you with this quote, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Okay, and I'm here to remind you, greatness is your destiny. So thank you for listening.
Miss Gibson, one of the things I like about you is you are a very genuine person, and it's good to hear your story. You just have a big heart for kids, and I really appreciate you. So, Miss Kennedy, we can open up the floor to a few questions.
All right, let's see who has any questions.